Control the ball.
Welcome to Crypto Revolution Talk.
Not me. Or you.
With your host, El Crypto Cubano.
Not you. Then who?
Legal disclaimer. This is not financial advice. We are simply a podcast that voices opinions and news pertaining to the cryptocurrency market. This is a financial revolution. We the people are all in it together as one community. Welcome back to another episode of Crypto Revolution Talk. Happy fucking Friday, everybody. Another great episode coming your way. Today we have another great guest. This guy has been absolutely on fire. He is just digging up all these undervalued gems. You know, he's in the laboratory going nuts. And this guy has made many people tons of gains. I'm going to introduce Crypto Yaz. Crypto Yaz, pleasure to have you on.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
I just want to thank you, by the way, for the gains I made on OCN. You had called that on the dojo. You also made a mention of it on Twitter. You also mentioned CNN, which did crazy gains as well. OCN did 6x. CNN did 8x. I got in on OCN, not CNN. Thank you. You're really your TA and your calls are really on the ball. They're really good. I really appreciate that, and thank you for coming on.
Not a problem, man. I appreciate you having me as well.
Yeah.
Let's get on with it, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So, question for you. We'll start with the always the first question. How did you get into crypto? What's your background? Like, what got you into the space?
So, long story short, essentially, last year, saw headlines, BC reach 3K. So I'm pretty late in terms of when I joined the game. So I saw the headline, as natural as you're going to be in terms of that. Everyone talks about like the average person, but when you see something going up and it's like, 300% gains, right? You start looking into it, right? So then I really started researching when it hit that 3K headline. Just sort of started from there, researched it, dug up the details. That same night I did like KYC, signed up because I'm Canadian. So I signed up for like the Canadian exchanges, did KYC, and just went from there. I was pretty obsessed with it. 15 hours watching videos, reading, discovering, and then like I think for the first 2 weeks, I essentially just played like BTC and ETH, and then I started to discover like alts and looked at the gains and looked at CoinMarketCap. And just went from there, and then just sort of spiraled. Probably like in the July, August when I started really getting heavy into alts, and then spiraled from there. Actually,
That's awesome.
So I'm pretty late to the game, but I've learned a lot relative to it. I wish I got it much earlier in hindsight, just like everyone else. But I was more distracted back then, with different things. That's what it comes down to. But what can you do? You make the best of what you got.
Absolutely. I got into the game late as well. I got in at about 3,500. I started it back in August before the big spike, August 2017, that is. I wish I got in earlier too. I first learned about it a long time ago, like close to when it was created, and I thought it was a scam.
I saw an article about digital money, and it was like back when I was like under $1.
Yeah.
I remember even seeing videos of like it like on Vice like in 2014 and 2015. I never really researched into it.
Yeah, neither did I. I had a lot of stuff going on. I was in the Navy at the time. That when I first found out about it, good friend of mine, whom you know well, he was trying to get me to invest, and I was very busy, and I was just all over the place, and I didn't get in until 2 months later. I could have got in during the China FUD, but hey,
Oh, yeah. Well, the China FUD happened in September as well, right?
Yeah, there was also.
There's like two funds. There's two funds.
Yes, there was the China FUD that brought it down to like what was it, 2,500 or 1,800? 1,800.
It was 1,800, then 2.9 was the next one. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but all right. So, what was the first lesson you learned in crypto? What was the first mistake you made that really molded the way you trade now?
Getting too attached to an alt, and hoping that it's gonna keep going up, even though like it's just that whole sense we just agreed, and then you're gonna be like, oh, it's gonna go up, and you hope for more and more, but it keeps going down. Just holding, I had the lesson of holding it from the top, and then holding it down, losing a lot more profit than I could have secured, and that sort of shaped my style when I realized. Then I started reading into like market cycles, and just started studying psychology, just studying like charts and really getting into it, and just spiraling from there. I just discovered that these coins are volatile, but it's just as quick as they can go up, they can go down just quick. And the biggest lesson actually was when I first started nav. Nav was a good one. I held that to the top. It went like, I don't know, like the E68. This is back in August. I don't know if you remember nav.
I do remember nav. Absolutely. I wasn't holding it, but I do remember it. I remember it was.
That was a crazy run. That was a crazy run of Bittrex. And Bittrex is now kind of dead, but that was a crazy one. That was the biggest lesson. So I sort of held nav. Didn't sell the top, and I sold it closer when BTC was dipping. Jamie Dimon FUD came out and everything, and I ended up selling nav closer to the bottom than the top. And I think when the FUD got cleared, I think nav bounced back up by 50%, but obviously went back down. But it was just, and I just looked at it, I was like, oh wow, I can start studying charts and not be pressured, and just take profits on the way up, and don't get too attached to anything.
Yeah, 100%. I've learned the same similar mistakes. I definitely learned that when I get that euphoric feeling that, oh my God, this is great, it's just gonna keep on going. That's when I should probably start putting in sell orders. Because it's just how it is. That's how our emotions work. I mean, and if you trade with your emotions, forget it. You're gonna get burned. You're gonna get wrecked.
You're gonna get eaten alive. Yeah.
Especially in this space, 100%. So what was your first big break? So NAV obviously was the coin that you learned the most from, and the way you played that position. So what was your big break? What put you where what gave you momentum to put you where you're at now? What was your first coin?
Walton Chain. Walton Chain was an obvious one, and that's how I started discovering KJ back when he had like $500 followers, 1,000 followers, and then he had his Telegram group that had like under 100 people when I joined. But WTC was the call that sort of it went 8 to 10x for me.
Yeah.
So that was definitely not life changing. Yeah, it definitely like inspired me to start discovering more and stuff. That was a big trade, and then Vertcoin. That was another one. I think it went from like, I forgot the Satoshi value, but it went from like 80 cents to like $10 during like, I don't know if you remember like the Bitcoin Gold.
Yes.
October, yeah.
Yeah.
When all the A6 resistant coins, like GRS went like 30x or something. It was something crazy. I don't know if you remember that one, but GRS, BTC, and like BTG. Like the E6 resistant coins, I made a lot of good money in October on that one, on those ones. Just crazy gains. And then it coincides with like some Eta Delta, but those three were definitely some big breakthroughs for me in terms of like the gains that I got from them.
That's great. That's awesome. That's every trader's got their coins, and I like that you have three. That you got three that really where you. Specifically Walton Chain. I remember when KJ put out the Walton Chain video, and and I remember him telling me about it, and
You never got in it?
I never got in it because I wasn't in crypto. I wasn't in crypto yet. That's why. But it was just like seeing him do the video and get like 1,000 followers overnight was crazy. But so yeah, it was. That's great. That's awesome. That those Walton Chain was your first big break, and then GRS, and that's awesome. So,
Yeah.
so currently the market's looking shitty, man. It's
I-
fucking
I'm
bloody.
I'm pretty bearish right
Yeah,
now.
it's
I just don't think anything's seen the bottom like some have, but I think just basing on the chart, I think we're due for another leg down.
yeah. I wouldn't be surprised either. I've been seeing a lot of calls for 6,000s. I hope not. I really hope not. But I mean, I'm still a permabull. I'll always be bullish on cryptocurrency, on Bitcoin. But yeah, this sucks right now. I mean, I just every time you open up Blockfolio, it's like just blood in the streets. It's absolutely
But
fucking brutal.
it depends which coins are. Like if you're in some good shit coins, on like these obscure exchanges, usually they don't get hit as hard as you might think. Like Binance, particularly, man. Like I'm very bearish on Binance until BTC rallies hard because all the bots are programmed to Binance and then the BTC movements, and then you're just gonna get wrecked. Like there's some good bounces, but in general, like holding anything on Binance, you have to be swing trading right now.
Yeah, that's something I got to get better at. Swing trading. It takes a really unique individual to be able to do swing trades. I've done them before, but I just the emotions thing gets a hold of me, so I just
It's always like that. Yeah, you gotta get past the. You're not gonna time the top or the bottom.
yeah. It's
That's how it is.
it's almost impossible to hit the top or the bottom, even though you called Juan at 56K. And
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, everyone was calling for higher, and then it's like, nah, it has 6-6.
and it did hit 56K. I mean, I doubled my position in Juan, but I scaled it down I started at 73K, and then I also bought again at 64K. I should have just listened to what you were saying, because obviously you're like the hottest commodity right now in crypto. 56K was the definitely the buy zone, or anywhere under 60. But I'm still I'm happy that I doubled my position at the price I did, to be honest with you. But
Yeah, if you got long term, like if you're looking at not BTC value for one, but you're looking at as accrue as much one as you can because you feel that's the value you want. I mean, anything under like 70 is fine. If you get anything under 50, that's really good. But generally in the area, like some of these projects gonna take longer, and then you're just gonna have to deal through it. There's not gonna be instant gains, but once it happens, once they rip, they're gonna start going.
yeah, and you kind of saw that. I mean, obviously the ICO holders are doing really well on Juan, but you kind of saw that after it launched, it went down a little bit. Went down I think as low as 42K, and it shot up. Over a month, over 110K. But that's something I guarantee you'll see, and it's probably even going to go more parabolic when more word gets out about it. It's a huge coin, but
Yeah. The only issue I have with it is right now the market's like they just want everything cheap, and they just get so tired. Like after a week or 2 weeks, if something doesn't move, they just get tired and just go on to the next. It's sort of, there's no new money right now, so everyone's just like jumping from coin to coin. They're like, oh, I want this, just want the next pump.
yeah,
And that's unfortunately what you're gonna have to deal with until BTC rallies above, like, I'm not even gonna say 10K anymore. You're gonna probably need like 12, 14K. It's gonna need to get closer to 20K before we see the true alt run.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I remember in late December, early January that tremendous alt run when we were over 10K. We were like at 13K, and just everything was. I remember I bought Dragon Chain super late, and it went crazy.
Dragon Chain was a good one.
Yeah, and
I didn't hold that from the top to the bottom. That's that's tanked really hard.
Yeah, it did. I that one hurt me. I actually, if I had sold the top, I would have done really well. But I thought that thing was the future of crypto, and it dumped pretty hard. And right now it's awful, blood.
There's just no exchanges to me. Like what I hear actually on the inside, some people have been telling me that their plan is not to be listed on any exchanges. So you're gonna have to realistically for Dragon. I think it's gonna be stagnant. It's gonna dip more because people are gonna go to other places, simply because they're waiting for regulation. So when regulation comes out, I think that's when you're gonna start to see them being listed on other exchanges. Until that happens, it's gonna be a very stagnant coin in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, people are getting their slumber scores up, but it's like,
Yeah,
what is
I
that?
don't know. I'm not really like that big on slumber score. I don't know.
I'm not. I had a slumber score, but I ended up when it jumped back up recently, I sold.
Yeah,
So
it's a smart decision, man. I mean, in terms of like the short term, right? Like you can make better gains somewhere else.
it is, and it's and I actually put that into OCN, so I was very grateful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Where'd you get OCN at? Was it?
Oh, I got it at 132 sats. It was I
Nice.
didn't get it where you got. You got it. I know you got it under 100 sats, but
Yeah, I did. I got it like 115. I got it 90, and then I got 79. That was all in UOP.
Jeez.
I just DCA'd because I knew that coin was like smash. It was like 900 was the top. I knew they had some shit coming up, and it just made sense.
Yeah.
It just made sense, low sat coins, even though I know, the whole penny thing is gonna last too long, but just take advantage of it now. Just don't get attached to it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like the penny stocks.
Yeah.
And I learned my lesson with the penny stocks. It's like, I got attached to some penny marijuana stocks, and I bought these things. I bought these things so cheap, and they skyrocketed. And I was like, oh, they're gonna keep on going, and then I ended up pretty much breaking even, if not losing my shirt. But
my girlfriend's brother got into marijuana stocks too, and he held them down. I just feel bad people. You can't get emotional in this game, man. You just gotta realize there's always another. That's the advice I give.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what is your right now? So obviously you're an undervalued gem hunter. You are constantly looking for shit coins or gems that are just a diamond in the rough, and you're good at finding them. So what is a coin that you would say to watch right now? What's a coin that you think has the potential to make some decent gains?
Ooh, it's hard to say right now, but the coin really eyeing and has been very strong is BIX.
Okay.
The reason why I say BIX, and not a lot of people talk about it, but it's an exchange token. And Bitbox itself I think is a top 10 exchange right now. I'm actually gonna check coin market cap for you right now, but it's a top 10 exchange. It's only 100 something odd million market cap. They have margin trading. They have a beautiful mobile app they can actually use. They have a couple of features of like Kumboy Bao or something like that's called, and you can lock up your tokens in like BTC, BIX, or ETH, and they'll give you a set return increase of that token in after a vested period. And they have a couple undervalued gems like Fusion, High Performance Chain, which is on KuCoin as well, BBN, so Bonian Network. Not a lot of people talk about that, but I'll put it on the spot here. It's very undervalued coin, and I think it'll perform very, very, very well because it has the amount of connections and partnerships it has, like Loopring, Neo. Like once people discover this and gets on more exchanges, and also the problem is like Bitbox it's Chinese, right? And then a lot of people get scared. But it is a top 10 exchanges, about $264 million in volume, and the market cap is like less than half of its daily volume, right? And it pays dividends, has a referral structure, has all that. And if you look at the chart, I mean, it hasn't been sexy in terms of returns, but it's been steady. I think I got it around 7.7K, and right now it's like at 15K.
Yeah.
And it's just steadily going up. If you actually look at the chart, I mean, the volume on it's been picking up. To address the concerns of BIX itself, people say it's wash trading, but all Chinese exchanges wash trade. Even Bitom, which is not Chinese but it's Korean. Even Binance was, right? So wash trading is always going to be there. But yeah, the volume, I mean, 24 hours is 142 million.
Wow, that's impressive.
For the token itself. If you actually look at the chart, I mean, it's it's huge consolidation. And I'm just bullish on it because I can reasonably see this becoming like a 500 million to a billion market cap, because KuCoin shares went to like 1.6 billion.
Yeah, dude.
And KuCoin shares right now is 42, spot 42 in terms of like exchanges. They're behind like Bitsy and stuff like that. And you're just like, KuCoin's a dead exchange, and everyone keeps shilling KCS, but Bix is much, much better, in my opinion. So
Yeah.
if KuCoin shares can get 1.6 billion, I don't see a reason why Bix can't at least reach, at least a quarter or like 1/3 of that all-time high value.
That is definitely a great call right there, Bix. B-Box token. You guys heard that from the top gem hunter right now. That is definitely a solid call. I had KCS at one point. KCS did phenomenally, and I did not do phenomenally on it, but it did well during the alt season when I know it did really well when Dragon Chain got listed on KuCoin. It did really well during that period when KuCoin was getting a ton of volume. And it's
Exactly.
that's a great call.
The volume is coming in right now, but if you want to check some undervalued gems again, you got like BBN, Fusion, HB, high performance blockchain. Like Fusion's like a cheap man's wand.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're referring it to as, right? They got a couple other coins too, like UUU was a good token, which I called and did like a 3x. So I got about 35 sats and went to like 100.
Wow.
So that's another, solid call. And there's a bunch more if you check it out. The only issue it has right now, you have to be really patient with your. It's not something you can just market buy, like 1 to 5 BTC worth of a coin. Like you have to be very patient with your buys. Just set your buys and let them come to you.
Yeah.
And they will.
Yeah, because I'm sure there's not. Yeah, that makes sense. I see what you're saying with like I've seen that on low volume exchanges like Cryptos or Gate.io where you have to you can market buy but you're gonna get killed. But I understand what you're saying. There's probably it's probably very scaled. There may be a gap between sell and buy. But yeah, that's definitely sounds like a great call. I've heard of Bix before. I've heard of BBM before. Heard of Fusion. I'm going to look into them more, specifically Bix, because I mean, if that does a run like what Binance did, what BNB did, that would be huge.
You can't ignore it.
You can't
ignore it.
Absolutely not. That's a tremendous call.
And check out their app as well. I think it's just as good as Huobi's app and Binance's app. It's much better than KuCoin's. It's a clean app.
I'll definitely have to check that out. Now, are there any coins that you would say to avoid, that you would say not to get into right now, that you think it's just too volatile? They're just, there's shit coins, and then there's just coins that are shit that you're not going to make anything off of,
Oh, man.
Or they're just too pumped. I don't know.
Many.
Yeah.
There's just so many. The one coin, got the thing of proc. That coin, man. I'm still back holding a really small bag because I was like, okay, I'm gonna leave a moon bag. Should just sold.
Yeah.
But I'm just bag holding this shit coin. The worst bag. Even Kevin Harrington over ship chain. That like anything associated with Kevin Harrington, just avoid that. In my opinion.
That's
I think he's just. I think Kevin Harrington was like an advisor for ship chain. So just avoid Kevin Harrington.
Yeah.
Anything associated with him, just avoid it.
Fucking Kevin Harrington, huh? What the hell happened to him?
I don't know, man. He got kicked off the Shark Tank. Nobody actually even knew who he was. I didn't even know who he was until I found out that he was an ex-Shark guy. I didn't even know who he was. So, I don't know. He's past his time, man. He's past his time.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so now on to some ICOs. How do you feel about the ICO scape right now? Is there any one specific ICO that you think is a good buy right now, or are you like kind of just?
I go usually people. I got a couple people that I trust and talk to, that do ICOs. Like Flawless is one of them. I think anytime it comes to an ICO, I look into them. A lot of them I haven't. Another couple people, but ICOs are too saturated right now. There's nothing. It's like what Vaz said. I don't do too many ICOs because I know I'd rather just wait either for an ICO reversal, or I'd rather just wait to buy it just because right now. But it's just too many. It's like everyone has the same concept and doing it like, oh, this is the new one. This is the new ICX. This is the new Ether. This is the new BTC, and it's just like. All these comparisons is just, to me, they're turning into like a money grab.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why you have such a bearish period. It's because all the liquidity is being sucked out of the market, and what's happening is that these companies, they don't really care about the market in terms of putting it back in. They're just cashing it out. So I'm a bit, not. I don't do too many ICOs. The only one I'm interested in right now, I think, is RSK. I don't think I can get anything with that, but that's an interesting one, which is a smart contract platform built on Bitcoin.
Yes. That one looks really good. One
thing, and then there was one I think will do well is Cosmos Chain. I never got into it, but I know it's very heavy Korean based, and I think it'll be hyped up. I think that coin Cosmos will be hyped up, but no, I haven't really checked out any ICOs. How about you? Is anything?
I'm into Menlo One. I'm really digging that. I like the fact that it's going to allow for retail investors to get more involved on the ICO platform. They're going to create a platform that's going to allow for many people to get involved. It's gonna make it more decentralized. I just see the trend already going since late December. Early January, ICOs started to just go to private sales. They're looking for accredited investors. They're looking for, people that have over $250,000. It reminds me exactly how they do it with IPOs and with the SEC and how they regulate that.
It's not really decentralized in nature. They're just like anyone can do it. So Komodo is interesting if they can actually end up getting some platforms on it, which is they're trying to do a decentralized ICO, but the issue is that one, the marketing sucks. And people just care about marketing right now, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, just too many private sales. You don't know what kind of bonus they got. You don't know how much they paid, and you're just wondering, okay, did this person? This is one ICO someone was talking about where they got 20%. So say if ICO pre-sale price is $1, they only got charged 20% of that $1 in private sale. So already for pre-sale people, they're already 5x.
Yeah.
What is it? Public sale. What is it? And it's just these multipliers are just stacking, and it's you either know somebody or don't, and it's become sort of a space that just you have the connections or you don't.
And it shouldn't be like that. My whole thing about crypto is I like the fact that it is a decentralized force that allows for anybody from any walk of the earth to get involved. And I just think it's backwards. I think it's going it's regressing rather than progressing the way it should be. It's not based on Satoshi's vision, or it's we'll see though. We'll see what happens. I really like the fact that Menlo One is attacking that. That's an issue that many many people in the crypto space are upset about. I saw a lot of backlash with Encash. I just saw a lot of people really upset about it when they didn't do a public sale. They only did the private sale. There was a lot of backlash. A lot of people they waited to buy. They dropped down. I mean, people made money off of it. Don't get me wrong. I did myself, but I just remember there was a lot of angry people that said they weren't going to touch the project because of the fact that all they did was hold a private sale for the old boys and the old girls, everybody that was buddy, and then everybody else got left out. So that's how the current system works. So that's why I like Menlo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Menlo One is interesting too. So I'll just talk about it briefly. I haven't looked too deep into it only because I think the lockup for the ICO was a bit long my tasting. But if it comes at or near ICO price, that's definitely a project I definitely want to look and get into. Menlo One and Hybrid Block as well. I'm looking at those two. If I was looking at I sort of pick up ICOs on the exchanges themselves. I don't mind paying a 1.5 to 2x premium because I'm confident in my own trades. That I can do that kind of performance and still be able to buy it cheaper than I would be, or with more capital than I would if I invested at the start. Very rarely do you see right now, especially do an ICO do 3-5x unless you got LBRA, right? Libra or something like that.
Libra.
5x.
Wow. No.
I don't know if you heard about it, but that coin got listed on 4 exchanges right out of ICO.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I don't know much about it, so I really don't have an opinion on it.
I don't know much. All I know is I got OKX and Huobi. That's big.
Yeah.
So
especially Huobi. Jeez.
Who's it called? That venture capitalist firm. If you're doing ICOs, there's a specific venture capitalist firm that you're confident that they'll get it on the exchanges. I forgot exactly what it's called.
Yeah,
But,
I'm not sure either.
yeah, if you do research, this is one venture capitalist firm that if they're behind it, it's very likely it could be a decent buy. So that's my recommendations for ICOs. If you look at LBRA, look at the site. There's a specific VC firm that does really well.
Yeah, that's something that we'll have to share. I'm gonna look into it and I'm gonna share later on, just because I don't have that information right now. But those are good tips. That's like something that's very valuable to the listeners right now. Is like a venture capitalist firm that's dealing with an ICO. They have hookups or they have connections towards certain exchanges, specifically high volume exchanges in, the crypto capitals, essentially. Asia is where it's at. Asia is where.
Yeah, you don't want the people who just get lit on IDEX straight out of the gate and they don't do anything. And it's like,
I hear you. I'm holding a ICO that went right to IDEX right now. It's on Hit BTC, and it's just burning a hole in my wallet. It's dead. I think it'll still do well eventually, and it's actually below ICO price, BlockX, but it's.
You get the gap FUD too, right?
Yeah. Oh my God, forget it. Forget it. The gap.
I think it's FBG Capital. That's the VC firm you want to look out for.
FBG Capital. Okay.
Yeah, that's the firm you want to research. If they're behind the project, very likely. I don't know. Like the site isn't that impressive. I haven't checked out the white paper, but the site's pretty basic, and the team's pretty small. But they have a bunch of VC firms, and I guess that's what matters, right?
Absolutely. Hey, if they can get the job done, they can get the job done. I think that you definitely need a good website to do certain things. Especially if you're marketing yourself. But if you have a product or a service that's just so good that it's gonna, regardless of your website, you're still gonna get business. It's an opportunity cost. They don't care about that. But yeah. So now let me ask you a question about your. So we were talking about crypto Twitter earlier offline.
Yes.
So who was your original go-to guy? Like, who was the guy that you originally started following and then started to take his tips and maybe helped you make some money?
Luke Wilson, that guy.
Yes, Venture Coinist, absolutely.
Venture Coinist, yeah, that guy. He has some great threads, and I think this most life-changing, not life-changing, but the one that changed my perspective of the space was his thread on BTC pairings and alts, and determining when they're cheap and determining when they're expensive, and to just there's a great thread. If you just Google Luke Wilson, and then or Venture Coinist, and you Google that thread, it's a really great thread discussing when you should be selling, when you should be buying, and just realizing all you have to do is look at a naked chart and just is at the bottom, is at the top, and just go from there. And it was very simple, but it just makes you realize that if you're only looking at your fiat value and your BTC value, you can remain the same fiat value, but your BTC value might actually be decreasing, which was very common from October to December. If you're mainly in alts, your BTC value probably decreased significantly, but your fiat value decreased a little bit, but remained about the same.
Yeah.
And it just gives you that perspective that you're actually losing wealth by being in alts at the wrong time.
Absolutely. I had that issue, and I actually, my fiat stayed the same. My fiat value stayed the same, a little bit lower, but my BTC value just crumbled.
Crushed.
Crushed. But when Lux took when Lux went off, and then I took profits from Lux and put it right into Ven, and that took off. It was it was like a snowball effect. But that's that's so true, and that's something that I've talked about before on the show. Is you gotta really, when you're trading, you have to pay attention to the BTC pairing, to the ETH pairing, whatever you're trading with. It's not just about fiat. If this was a fiat market, we'd already be trading in fiat. You gotta right now for the most part, you gotta buy BTC or ETH to trade. So that's what you have to be paying attention to. So hopefully there's platforms out there that could change that, like a hybrid block, or like CoinEx or Cash's liquid platform. Like, we're gonna see changes and evolutions to the space where we'll be able to use our fiat, and it'll add more liquidity to the space. But yeah, that's right now. I agree with that 100%. Yeah, Luke Wilson or Luke Martin, excuse me. Or Luke Wilson, I'm thinking of an actor.
Yeah,
Luke Martin.
Wilson, yeah, my apologies. I said, yeah, Luke Wilson, I think, is a tight end from like the Seahawks or some shit.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
bad. Luke Martin, my bad.
Yeah, no worries. I know who I knew who you're talking about. Once you said Luke,
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, everyone knows Luke, my bad.
Yeah.
Hey, Luke, my bad, man.
Oh, no worries. I'm taking notes as I go along, so I read back through that, and but that's all good. I mean, regardless, yeah, he's definitely a person to follow. I feel like he puts out a lot of charts now, a lot more than he used to. He doesn't really make any calls. I feel like he's trying to protect himself. He doesn't really. I mean,
he's grown large. That's the thing, right?
Would say that again.
He's grown really large, like
Yes.
really big nowadays. So he doesn't want to, like, he got some flack from other people, like what was that guy's name? Philip One or whatever.
Oh yeah.
He got flack saying, "Oh, why are you pumping it at like a volume with less than 1 million?" But he's just showing a chart from an educational perspective. It's not really to pump. So then he started to decide, I'm just gonna relax with that, which I get.
Yeah, he's got over 150,000 followers. I mean, it's the same with Filicone, the guy you're talking about. He's another one that he's got a ton of followers, and he's done some good for the space. But he's also like I've never seen like more of a crybaby Twitter feed in my life than that guy's. I mean, it's like, come on, man the fuck up. It's like, I mean, like, what is this? I know he got hacked, which is something to be upset about, but
I don't know.
But so just to last thing, wrap it up, because I know you have things to do. You have a girlfriend to see.
Yeah.
So just two predictions. I mean, it doesn't, it is what it is. Whatever you think. This is just your own personal belief. This is not financial advice. What do you believe the price of Bitcoin will be on January 1st, 2019? I know it's a tough question. I'm sorry. It's right, especially right now with this fucking market.
30K. I say 30K, which is like a 3x from here. It's reasonable. Because most of the gains that BTC gets, it's not like Fundstrat from Twitter. If you follow Fundstrat, Thomas Lee,
yeah,
he does pretty good research. Basically, like, out of 365 days, BTC has the most gains over like less than 20 days. So, like, don't get it twisted. BTC can make massive moves very quickly in a short period of time. So 30K is not unreasonable. Right now there's a huge correction, so I'm short term I'm bearish on BTC until it can break certain levels and regain confidence. But yeah, long term I'm bullish. So
yeah, and I agree with that. When I first started paying attention to BTC, I remember seeing 2K, and that was in July. Was that July, June, when the China FUD hit? July. And it dropped to 18K, and then when you look at it, by December, it was up 10x. So 4x from 7,500 to 30K is not out of the question. There's definitely some, there's got to be a major catalyst that really helps the cause.
ETFs is the only major one I can see. I know once BTC breaks 20K, there's gonna be a natural influx of people coming in. That's when you get the FOMO push.
Oh yeah. That's gonna. I mean, you saw it. You saw it when it hit 20K this time. It was unreal. A lot of people that thought it was the biggest scam were like, "Oh my God, it's at 20K. That means it's gonna be at 100K sooner than later." And then they bought it, and now they're
they're wrecked.
Yeah, they're wrecked.
They got into alts. They got into alts like in January, like the start of the year. If they got into alts, then they could have just doubled their money so easily, and they could have recovered.
Yeah.
That 50% loss if they bought 20K at the top, and that's what people don't realize, is that you can trade BTC from 20K to 18K. That's like a 10% gain, and alt can do like 50% gains.
Yeah.
Right. Some people just need to stop looking at that fiat value for now, and just accumulate as much BTC as you can, because when the time comes, it's just gonna go up, and then you're gonna be safe, and you're gonna know you have more BTC.
Yeah, I had that. I remember when BTC was over 15K, I was always anybody that asked me, should I buy, I was always very hesitant. And I said, if you buy, just be careful, trade alts. But it should have been like, yeah, buy and trade alts. The way you should do it is just buy and trade alts. It doesn't matter what the price of BTC is in fiat, because all you're trying to do is compile BTC. So you're buying BTC to trade in the alt market. So one last question for you before we wrap the show up. So another prediction. It's obviously daddy number 2, Ethereum, which I love Ethereum. I'm like the Ethereum guy. I love it. What do you think? What do you think the price of Ethereum will be January 1st, 2019?
If BTC is gonna be like a 30K, I'm gonna predict. Let's just say based on my prediction, if I'm doing it so it's accurate to a T, I'm gonna assume it's gonna be 5 million satoshis, which is 0.05.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say BTC. That's anywhere between 15 to 2,000.
Okay.
Maybe even 2,500 in that range, depending on its BTC value. So if it's like 0.1 of BTC, it's gonna be 3K, which is not unreasonable if they can get sharding and if they can get regulatory concerns approved and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the regulatory stuff
is broad, but
no, that's definitely a solid prediction. I mean, the regulatory stuff is something to be concerned about. The scaling issue, because 95% of ICOs are running off of the ERC20 tokens, which are running off of the Ethereum blockchain. So that's an issue. So sharding is going to help. That's something that's going to definitely propel the value of the coin. So we'll see.
You can see this. Yeah, I think it's going to consolidate in terms of BTC. Like you can actually look at the chart, and then you can actually do a big symmetrical triangle starting from June, and I don't know where it ends because I'm on CoinMarketCap right now. I don't have a chart on me, but you're looking at that consolidation period near the end of the year, and that's where my prediction is when we get the next bull run is Q3, Q4, probably leaning towards September, October, November, December. I think that's when we'll see the huge influx again.
Well, I'll tell you what, a huge influx, a big bull run would be fucking fantastic. I think everybody would feel the same way. You know what I'm saying?
Too many, exactly, but too many people are calling for it now. They're always trying to find the next reason. When people start not seeing the reason, that's when we'll have the bull run.
Well, yeah, I agree with you. I feel like one of the big things that we need in this space is mass adoption. We just need as many people getting into it as possible. A lot of people are still very skeptical about cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. It's very reminiscent of the way people were skeptical of the internet.
Even email.
Yeah.
Even email, right?
100%. 100%. I used to be skeptical of paying for stuff online. And this was like in 2008. I didn't want to pay. Not until 2008 did I use a credit card online. And it's mind-boggling. But, some people just have that. They have that thing where they have a phobia, or they just find something a little sketchy, or they don't trust it. But that's what's going to happen soon. Is this is going to become a very trustworthy market, and you're going to see certain coins that are going to do well, and they're going to continue to do well. So that's my opinion, at least. But
no, I think they will do well. You're going to expect a consolidation. So if anyone's listening and scared, it's fine. Just do the research and realize that it took 2 years for BTC to get out of its bear trend, right? And that was a much different more time and market. Just realize, it hasn't actually been that long of a bear market. Yeah, it's been technically 5 months, but April was a pretty good month. Like, if you did at least 2x from the bottom, you were either too emotional or you're over trading. You should have at least, from the bottom of March, you should have at least 2x your portfolio in terms of BTC and or fiat.
Yeah.
If you didn't, I'm not too sure what you were doing.
Yeah, I fortunately was able to 2x as well.
Yeah, I did like a 4.5x from the bottom from March, roughly around average out. Yeah, even in fiat, I'm up like 3.5x.
Nice.
But BTC tanked from like 10 to 7.5, so that kind of slashed 25% of my fiat. But BTC roughly remained the same. I'm only off like 10% off my recent all-time high. So just make sure you're scaling out, taking profits.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, all right, well, let's that'll wrap it up. I'll let you get on to your day. Hey, thanks for coming on, man. I really appreciate it. And it'll this will be another notch in the belt for you. You are obviously the top undervalued gem hunter right now. You are definitely the coin market cap gem. You're probably on there constantly. So, yeah.
That's a secret. That's a secret. I don't. Some coins, I actually prefer them to not be on it. Like CNN, right? If you're not on CoinMarketCap, that's even better. So don't be afraid.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid.
You know, it's so funny you mentioned that. Whenever I don't see a coin that I've heard of on CoinMarketCap or Blockfolio, I'm bullish immediately. Because once it gets on those, people buy them. You know?
Yeah, people look into them, they see like, some buzzwords or some partnerships, and they're like, oh, I'm going to buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, thanks for coming on, man. I really appreciate it. This is El Crypto Cubano wrapping it up. Hopefully the days get greener. Signing off. Have a good night, everybody. Take care.
Yeah, have a good night, guys.